Olá, eu sou Mauro Lopes, jornalista aqui da Pós TV Fórum. Você me conhece do Fórum Café. Hoje faremos uma entrevista especial, ela está sendo gravada para que seja legendada, com o Dr. Bassem Naim, uma entrevista especial, exclusiva para a mídia brasileira. Eu tive a oportunidade de entrevistar o Dr. Naim 2 anos atrás, na ofensiva anterior de Israel, em 2021, contra os palestinos. Desta vez, ele fala conosco, ele tem falado tem participado de algumas entrevistas em mídias internacionais, mas aqui no Brasil é a primeira vez que ele fala, uma entrevista exclusiva para a mídia brasileira. Dr. Bassem Naim é médico, foi ministro da Saúde de Gaza no passado, hoje ele é o presidente da Comissão de Relações Exteriores de Gaza, um ministro das Relações Exteriores de Gaza e um dos integrantes do Comitê de Relações Exteriores do Hamas. Nossa entrevista anterior foi feita em 25 de maio de 2021, na verdade. Esta foi a data precisa da entrevista com o Dr. Naim. Vou trazê-lo aqui para a nossa conversa. Hi, Dr. Naim. Thank you for your time with us. O senhor é presidente da Comissão de Relações Exteriores de Gaza. Quais são as funções dessa comissão e as suas funções? E com quantos países e organizações Gaza se relaciona?
Thank you very much for inviting me to talk to your audience. I am the head of Council on International Relations in Gaza. This is a non-profit NGO seated and based in Gaza. We are contacting most of the countries around the world and most of research centers in the political and international relations fields in Europe, in Latin America, in Eastern of Asia, in the Arabic and Islamic countries, and in Africa.
É importante dizer, Dr. Naim, não sabemos onde ele está, por motivos óbvios de segurança. A localização do Dr. Bassem Naim não é revelada. O Hamas, Dr. Naim, é acusado de ser um grupo terrorista por Israel, Estados Unidos e outros países, com apoio dos grandes grupos de mídia. O Hamas é um grupo terrorista?
Thank you very much again for this very important question, because unfortunately the Western countries, mainly in the United States and Europe, they are defining what is a terrorist and what is not a terrorist. I think the international law is very clear here. Any people who are occupied under the occupation have the right to resist all the occupation by all means, by all tools, including armed resistance. Therefore, it is very important to differentiate between people like Palestinians who are defending themselves, resisting the occupation, looking for a political goal to live free and dignity like all other people, and some groups here or there who are attacking other civilians only. But unfortunately, after 30 years of this peaceful peace agreement, what is the final result? Palestinians are more crushed, more divided, more Palestinians killed, more settlements built. Therefore, again, we are freedom fighters. We are fighting for our genuine rights to be free and live in a dignified life, and giving our people the right to return to their homes and villages.
Além do Hamas, que outras forças palestinas participaram da ofensiva contra Israel no dia 7 de outubro?
A lot of resistance groups seated in the Gaza Strip, like Hamas and Jihad and PFLP and DFLP, other groups participated in the attack on October 7th, again because Gaza Strip is besieged by these armed forces around the Gaza Strip near the borders now for more than 17 years. They are suffocating 2.3 million Palestinians and converted Gaza Strip into the biggest open air prison. I think anyone in our case, in our situation, will try to break down the walls of this prison to get rid of this prison. Therefore, it is an act of defense. We have defended our life, our children, and our future. It is not an aggression.
Como é que o senhor explica os ataques a civis, especialmente a festa que acontecia em um kibbutz, no kibbutz de Rein, a 6 quilômetros de Gaza, e que teve 260 mortes?
Look, from the beginning of this act of defense, the instructions to the fighters were clear from the top commander of Al-Qassam Brigade. Don't harm civilians, don't kill civilians. But we have to remember, everyone who is hearing now, first, that all these military bases, military compound are built inside the kibbutzes, and they are in the middle of the kibbutzes. This is one. The second, we have a lot of proofs that that some Israelis, and this has been also said in Hebrew, in Israeli media, that some Israelis killed by Israeli fire because they believe in the so-called Hannibal doctrine. Hannibal doctrine means that any Israeli which has been captured or taken hostages, they give themselves the right to kill him, even to kill him with the capturer. And this is the second. The third issue, the third thing is that at the moment that suddenly everything collapsed and fall down, the borders were open, and there is some chaos, and a lot of groups, a lot of people entered the area, and there was a kind of chaos. But I can send you a lot of videos showing that our fighters helping the civilians to go back to their homes, or they care for them until they return back. What the Israelis claims, it has been proven it was fabricated. For example, they have talked about beheaded babies, and they were not able to show a single photo or a video of a beheaded baby. They have talked about raping women. It hasn't proven at any time. I think it was a narrative or by the Israeli media, by the Israeli politicians, to undermine our narrative that we are occupied people under defense. We have defending our people. But let me tell you something. Did the story started on October 7th? I mean, the story of civilians. 1 week before, they have killed 7 children inside Gaza. In 2023, 253 Palestinians were killed on checkpoints in the West Bank. We are suffering, or we are passing through nearly every day massacres in Gaza Strip, in the West Bank, in East Jerusalem. This is the daily story of the Israeli aggressions against our people. You can remember a lot of massacres along the history of this occupation. And lastly, it was in 2021 and 14, thousands and thousands. And yesterday, we have seen how they have attacked the Baptist hospital. This is a hospital affiliated to the Baptist church, by a rocket, and killed more than 500 innocent civilians who seek refuge inside the hospital, including women, children, and elderly. I think it is clear. You can see it clearly today. In 24 hours, at least 4 or 5 massacres against whole families without even giving them any sign of warning. Therefore, it is not our intention, it is not our plans at all to harm or to attack any civilians.
Antes de falar do ataque, é uma questão importante. Como é que o senhor e o governo de Gaza, não apenas o Hamas, mas o governo de Gaza e o Hamas, qualificam o governo de Israel? Forças democráticas e de esquerda cada vez mais consideram o regime israelense como um regime de apartheid e genocida. O governo de Gaza e o Hamas concordam com isso?
It is not about Hamas to agree or not to agree. Israel as a whole and Israeli government, it has been described by Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, even Beit Salem, this is an Israeli human rights body, have described Israel as an apartheid regime, as a racist government. And this is proven by all rules and regulations in the field, how they are dividing Palestinians, how they are killing Palestinians, how they are stealing their land, their homes, their villages, how they are killing. Again, this is not our judgment. This is the judgment of the international community, especially at the human rights body. When it comes to the current government in Israel, I can send you a lot of videos where Israelis themselves, including some in the government, who have described ministers like Bezalel Smotrich and Ben Gvir, that they are terrorists. A few years ago, they were they were sentenced from the Israeli courts as terrorists, and they are still in the terror list inside Israel and in the United States. I'm talking about security minister. I'm talking about the minister of finance. You are talking about ministers who are still on the terror list inside Israel and in the United States. These ministers have called, lastly, in the last few months, to burn Palestinian cities, to kill Palestinians. Smotrich has said Palestinians have three choices: either to leave the country, or to be killed, or to live as a slave here in under the Israeli control. Ben-Gvir, who is the security minister, he has called to execute all Palestinian prisoners. I think we don't need to have a lot of proofs to show how racist is and fascist is this government. It is clear for everyone. Bezalel Smotrich in Paris has called to burn Palestinian cities or Palestinian villages. It is proven.
Vamos falar agora do ataque ao hospital. Nesse 17 de outubro, o mundo assistiu horrorizado ao ataque de Israel que destruiu o Hospital Batista Al-Ahil em Gaza e matou ao redor de 500 pessoas. O que exatamente aconteceu e qual é a situação agora?
The situation is very, very catastrophic. Everything is collapsing. The health system, the humanitarian situation, the infrastructure, no electricity, no food, no communications. In each day, you are hearing the news or watching the news of massacres of 4 or 5 families. More than 60 Palestinian families are totally eradicated from the civil registry. They are attacking a building of 3 or 5, 6 floors with 60, 70 people without any warning, so that at the end of the day, nearly since the beginning of the Israeli aggression against Gaza Strip, more than 300 Palestinians killed every day. All of them are civilians. All of them are women and children and elderly. The water is cut, electricity is cut, no fuel, and they are not allowing anyone to help or to open the borders to bring some humanitarian aid. And they have asked some people to lift Gaza Strip from the north to the south to be more safer or to be safer. But they have, on the way to the south, they have attacked the convoys, at least repeatedly, so that in one case, they have killed 70 Palestinians when the convoy was transporting the people from the north to the south. What happened yesterday, that they have called the Baptist hospital in the Gaza. This is one of the oldest hospital in Gaza Strip. 100-year-old. This is a Christian hospital affiliated to the Baptist Church, and they have called them and asked them to leave. And after contacting the ICRC and the church in Jerusalem and the church in Rome and everywhere, that what can we do? Because we cannot leave the hospital. How can we leave hundreds of patients in the ICU, children, women, wounded people, and leave the hospital? We cannot do it. The administration of the hospital, they got a response from the mediators that, okay, it's fine, you will not be attacked. And suddenly, after a few hours, they have attacked the courtyard of the hospital, where thousands of Palestinian civilians seek refuge inside the hospital, unfortunately by an American missile, which caused the killing of more than 500 Palestinians, but thousands are wounded, and we are expecting the number of people killed to rise up to 1,000, because a lot of them are seriously wounded, and it is impossible to save their lives. And a lot of the infrastructure and the facilities of the hospital is destroyed. Now they have also called 5 other hospitals and asked them to leave, to evacuate the hospital. Therefore, we are expecting new other massacres in other hospitals. Therefore, they have attacked the UN buildings, the UN schools, the UN facilities. They are behaving so mad, without any limits, without any because they have got a green light, the greenest green light from the West, in particular from the United States, to crush Gaza Strip, to kill as much as they can in Gaza, or to push the rest of the people to leave the Gaza Strip somewhere else. I think this is the plan. We are expecting the worst. It is very, very serious, and we cannot accept this continuous blind support for this apartheid regime. And I have to say, unfortunately, we were shocked or surprised by the Brazilian position. We were expecting a totally different position. We were expecting someone to talk about political solutions. We were expecting, because it is not a conflict between Hamas and Israel. It is not a conflict between Gaza and Israel. It is a conflict between Palestinians who are occupied and Israeli occupation. And we are looking for our political rights as people to live in dignity in our independent state, to live free, to have our self-sovereignty, to secure a better future for our children. Therefore, we have hoped that at least some countries have some rational thinking or balanced thinking to call for an immediate stopping of this aggression, stopping of this round of confrontation, and initiating a balanced and just political process.
Doutor Naim, o Hezbollah convocou um levante logo depois do ataque de Israel, e já na noite do dia 17, milhares e milhares de pessoas saíram às ruas no Oriente Médio, na Europa e na América do Norte. O que vocês esperam como reação popular ao ataque?
Look, this is a pure Palestinian fight, struggle for freedom. Palestinians who are fighting and struggling for their freedom and dignity, for their own independent state. But at the same time, we are welcoming any support from anybody, from any country, because people have to stand on the right side of history, on the side of justice. No one can accept this continuous aggression for more than 75 years against our people. What we are asking for is only our freedom and dignity, our independent state. Therefore, we are expecting the support from Arabic countries, Islamic countries, the countries around the world, all people around, all free people around the world, to support this cause, to stop this genocide, to stop this aggression, and to help our people to achieve their genuine goals and rights.
Doutor Naim, a chance efetiva de os brasileiros retidos em Gaza, aprisionados em Gaza, retornarem ao Brasil, por que a fronteira do Egito não foi aberta ainda?
It's very simple, because the Israelis have closed the borders and told the Egyptians it is not allowed to open the borders again. And the Egyptians have tried repeatedly to send humanitarian aid, and the borders were bombarded by the Israeli air forces 3 or 4 times, destroyed the crossings, destroyed the infrastructure, and therefore it is very, very serious. No one can try to go there, because it is very, very serious. And the second thing is that all people, including our people with foreign nationalities, they cannot move from north to south. And I can tell you that hundreds of people are waiting now for 7 days near the crossing, near the borders, with different nationalities, not only Brazilians, but they cannot leave, because at any time the border is opened, it is attacked by the Israeli air forces, and a lot of people killed. The head of the crossing departments is killed with his family.
E como é que o senhor vê o papel do Brasil, que está nesse momento na presidência do Conselho de Segurança da ONU?
Brazil is a big country, an influential country. Brazil is a friend of Palestine, friend of Palestinian people. Now Brazil is a head of Security Council. Brazil is member of BRICS country. we think that Brazil can do a lot to stop this madness, to stop this aggression, and to play a central role in initiating a political process.
O governo de Gaza e o Hamas têm relações com o governo brasileiro e com o PT?
We have some relations to figures in the government, in the parliament, but it is most of the time unofficial relation, because you know that under the pressure of the Western powers, a lot of people, because of the sanctions on Hamas and Gaza, a lot of people try to avoid this direct public contacts. But I have to say, it is wasting of time to avoid contacting the right people, the right group. The vast majority are standing behind the vision of Hamas that we have to fight for our freedom and for our dignity. We were unfortunately cheated by the international community. We are waiting now 75 years for the international community to implement international security, UN security resolutions, UN resolutions, and they have done nothing. They have always given Israel more support to commit more suicide and to oppress the Palestinian people. I hope that all our brothers and sisters and comrades and friends in Palestine and Brazil can take the simplest steps what they can to stop this aggression, to help our people to gain their rights of a dignified and independent and free life, a better future. We believe that Brazilians can do a lot. I think it is just cause, and everyone with a conscious mind have to stand on the right side of history.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for our time and for attending this interview on Foro TV. It was very important for us clarifying the facts. I would like to express our solidarity with the Palestinian people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Shukran. Thank you very much. Shukran jazilan.
Pois bem, essa foi a entrevista com o Dr. Bassem Naim, ele que é o ministro das Relações Exteriores de Gaza. O posto que ele ocupa, o nome desse posto é exatamente o seguinte: presidente da Comissão de Relações Exteriores de Gaza, e ele também integra o Comitê de Relações Exteriores do Hamas. Essa entrevista foi feita em caráter exclusivo e inédito do Brasil desde o início dos combates, desde o início da ofensiva palestina contra Israel e agora da ofensiva genocida de Israel contra os palestinos, e acho que trouxe muitos esclarecimentos para nós todas, todos e todos. Quero agradecer a todos que assistiram esta entrevista. Ela será, nessa altura do campeonato, já foi publicada no site da revista Fórum. Então, mais uma vez, muito obrigado e até nosso próximo encontro.